Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this, this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is to try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us in this challenge for as little as $9 a month, information is available in the description below. I'd like to start by providing a quick update on yesterday's video. I did make an error, and the error was with regard to the old and the new changes. So I have removed that video in order to avoid any confusion. So at the start of this video, I'm just going to do a quick update and recap of yesterday's video. So if you did manage to catch yesterday's video, you can skip forward a few minutes. So for a number of people who have asked me about yesterday's video, I will not be releasing it again in order to avoid any confusion, but I'm just going to do a quick 2-minute update on what I covered and the key points. So first of all, obviously we had confirmation of the S1 amendment number 2, so we introduced the breaking news of that, and what I shared here in yesterday's video was confirmation here on my post where I said not full approval yet, so I'm sure everybody knows that. But I do expect final and full approval of this hopefully in a few more days. So I did speculate that it could be as quick as 6 calendar days. Again, we'll have to wait and see, but that's speculation there. And the second thing I provided in yesterday's video was with regard to a highlighted section here on my post where we talked about the potential of MMTLP on the OTC market here, and it now states in the new S1A report submission, it says here the MMTLP price per share as shown on the OTC market may rise significantly. So these are not my words with regard to a potential squeeze, potential shoot up in the price, but this is what is written down in the submission. So the key reason for this is because of a lack of supply. So I'm sure you've seen in some of my previous videos I've talked about Greg, John Berder, we've talked about William, and we also talked about David. So if we combine these together, I think we have a significant holding well in excess of 30%. On top of that, if we look at all the people who are holding this long, and I think the vast majority of retail are holding MMTLP long, and then you factor in the European people like myself who are through Trading 212 cannot trade, buy or sell. We just technically are the old legacy holders. Then certainly there's a problem here in terms of limited supply. So that if we use demand and supply theory, it indicates that when there is not enough supply, too much demand, price will rocket. So that's a quick update there. And then finally, the other update I provided in yesterday's video was with regard to very bullish statement here on the table of contents, and what I said here in terms of quotation. In addition, we may consider strategic options including partnering with all the possible sale of any or all of our assets to a third party. So great find there in the submission. What I'm now going to do in today's video is follow on. I have had a chance to look at the new S1 in much more detail, so I'm going to be sharing with you some additional findings going forward now, so stay tuned for that. So before we make a start on the key changes, I'm going to give a shout out here to Slick Roads, and he has commented on the channel here, and he said, I have read every single change in the new amendment and I truly believe that NextBridge has a buyer waiting. So let's have a look at if we can agree with the analysis of Slick Roads. So I'm going to start here by first of all referring to the distribution. So just for clarification purposes, the changes are on the right in green, and the old previous submission is on the left in let's call that pink. Okay, so if we can see, first of all, we can say the key highlighted change there is on the left, it was they will not issue any physical stock certificates, and now they will not issue any physical certificates other than upon request. So if you want one, you can request one. So that's a minor change, but the key difference here at the bottom on the right, previously the preferred stock was going to be cancelled as of the record date. Now the preferred stock will be cancelled as of the distribution date. So what that means is as of the distribution date, the preferred stock will have a value of 0. Let's now have a look at the selling strategy with regard to the distribution. So we're actually going to focus more on the right. So if you want to have a look at what's on the left, you can do, but that's the old version. So let's just concentrate on what the latest update is here. And we can see here, if you sell the shares of Series A preferred stock on or before the distribution date, you will not be entitled to receive the shares of the common stock in the distribution in respect of such shares or Series A preferred stock sold. We expect all trading of the Series A preferred stock to be suspended as of the distribution date. So very clear message here. If you sell your preferred stock on or before the distribution date, you will not be entitled to receive the shares. So whoever is buying those shares, the rights will transfer over to that person, and these rights will be for the common stock in NextBridge. And for the next key change, I'd like to bring back Rob Burgundy. He is a regular contributor on the channel, so I'm going to give a shout out here to Rob. So thank you for your comment here, Rob. Rob said, trading secret, there is no press release on MMTLP. That's a clue from Meta. It's all very vague in who is the Series A preferred stockholders of Torch and Meta. It's up to the record date to be set, either the Torchlight one as intended or a new one. So if anybody wants a quick reminder in terms of Rob's position has been very, very strong all the way through. He has been adamant, he has been persistent in saying that only the legacy holders of Torchlight Energy will get benefits of the spin out and will get the private shares in NextBridge. So he's saying, no, you can buy this on the OTC, but you will not get the benefit. So he's now saying there is no clue from Meta. He was going to prove us all wrong. So let's now see if Rob has anything to comment on. So this is now here, you can see highlighted on the right under the price per share of Meta Series A preferred stock traded on the OTC market under the ticker symbol MMTLP. So hope Rob can see that. May not accurately reflect the value of a share of a common stock you will receive in the distribution. So no matter what the price of MMTLP is, that is in no way a reflection of the value of NextBridge. That is no way a reflection of the value of the assets. I believe there is a genius out there today who is still misunderstanding the value of NextBridge, maybe linked to the value of MMTLP. So that's still incorrect. So again, further out here, again for the benefit of Rob, before the distribution, Meta Series A first stock was traded on the OTC market under trading symbol MMTLP, although such shares of MMTLP were not eligible for broker deal quotations, the OTC. So we now have clarification and recognition from Meta of MMTLP being the Series A preferred stock. So if there is another argument, I would be pleased to welcome it. Now let's have a look at the situation with regard to the shorts. So this, if you refer back to my previous tweet, I just focused on one of the key things here, but let's now have a look at an expanded view. So under the table of contents, under section 23 here, highlighted in yellow, we can see here if any investors have sold shares of MMTLP short. So remember, now we're talking about the short. Such investors may feel compelled to buy shares of MMTLP to cover such sales before the distribution. So if you remember, there are many people, including people like Chunky, who disagreed with this. So I am pleased to say that Chunky has now accepted and stated in one of his posts, I have egg on my face. So thank you for the recognition, Chunky. It's good to know when people accept the mistakes, and I think I do have respect for him for saying that. So thank you for that. So again, great clarification here. And further on, it also says MMTLP price per share as shown on the OTC market may rise significantly. So I have read a post in terms of, is there been a situation before where on the report here there is kind of a clue to the shorts, you could say, here to say, listen, start covering, the price may rise significantly. So I was also asked by one of the members in the Discord in terms of what the problem is for the shorts, and I think the key problem for the shorts is people are not willing to sell unless the price is quite high. So people do have sell limit orders at very significantly high prices. B, there is most people will not sell regardless, and C, really the volume is not there. So we certainly do have a problem now going forward from the point of view of the shorts. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. I'm sure you've also seen in terms of the chart, it is going up significantly, and I think today it did cross $2 at one stage as well. So before looking at the next key change, I want to remind everybody with regard to a video I covered 3 days ago, and this was information shared by William, who's one of the key holders of MMTLP. And if you remember in the video, I talked about him being the second largest holder. So let's have a look at it. If you see on the screen, if anybody's not seen this video, you see, you have a look at the last line there. I provided a very significant and important update with regard to the water study and why water is a very, very important necessity for drilling oil and gas. So I'm now pleased to share with you here an update in green on the right, indicating a significant change in the new submission. So we can see here productive wells include oil, gas, test wells, saltwater disposal, and then we can see here fresh water supply. So everything seems in place. So from my point of view, if there is another buyer ready and waiting, it looks like everything here is also ready and waiting for them to start production. So the next change I'm going to look at is exactly what I just talked about there, a potential sale to a major player. So if we have a look at the next section here on the right, there is another addition, and it states here, in addition, we may consider various strategic options, including partnering with or the possible sale of any or all of our assets to third parties. So again, very strong statement there, very bullish statement. And now let's have a look at the other thing I want to draw your attention to. So in some of my conversations, I have spoken with regard to gas, and we have a look at here, gas has now been added. So I'm sure you're all aware that gas is something very significant in the world economy right now. The price of gas has recently also been at all-time highs. Huge demand for gas from Europe, and as far as I'm aware, if I was to speculate, there is huge gas out there. That's what I've heard from my conversations, and I do believe that in my opinion there is a huge amount of gas in the assets. So let's have a look at why they've added gas in here. So it states here, gas balancing agreement attached. Again, let's have a look. These are not my words, this is from the submission. Each party will take in kind or separately dispose of its proportional share of oil and gas produced from the contract area. So gas is there, it's going to be available, so whoever takes over will get this. Each party will execute such division orders and contracts as may be necessary for the sale of its interest in production from the contract's area, and except as provided in Article 7B, shall be entitled to receive payment directly from the purchaser thereof for its share of all production. So make that of you will. And the next thing I want to share with you is quite a significant and detailed addition in the new submission. And this, if you look on the right here, this all seems to be linked to some kind of proposed transfer. So there is a long and detailed addition talking about McCabe, and McCabe, I'm sure you'll know, is the largest holder of MMTLP. So let's have a quick summary of this very significant and significant change. So what can we pick from this? So I have highlighted in yellow some of the things that I've picked out, and it states here, if McCabe elects to participate in the proposed transfer pursuant to a Tag A long purchase agreement. So again, speculation here of some kind of transfer going on. We can see here, Hudspeth shall promptly inform the prospective purchaser. So again, another reference to a purchaser, that McCabe also desires to sell on the same or substantially the same terms and conditions as Hudspeth, and for the same consideration. So looks like McCabe is open to agreement to sell, so that is necessary, that's required. And another thing I've highlighted here, 100% of its ownership rights in the leases of the land included in the proposed transfer as provided in this paragraph pursuant to the tag-along purchase agreement. So as far as I'm concerned, this is very, very important here. I'm just going to move along to the next section following down. I'm not going to read every single word, but this is also something interesting I picked up here. Following the consumption of the proposed transfer and provided that Hudspeth conveys all its rights, title and interest to the land and leases subject to the proposed transfer. So a significant amount of wording here talking about a transfer, significant amount of additional wording here talking about to a potential buyer here. And then under section 5, subject to all the applicable trade secret and confidentiality protection. So I'd like to give a shout out to the bird lady who has reminded people that these agreements are usually subject to extreme secrecy. And if you have a look at the under section 5, I have highlighted that. So it says here, so again, repeat, subject to all applicable trade secret and confidentiality protection. So the company is complying with this, that nobody knows for sure what is happening behind the scenes. As far as I'm aware, everything is speculation. And it also stays here, McCabe on his appointed representative will have access to all the geological data regarding this prospect, including but not limited to daily drilling reports, electric logs, mud logs, core, DSTs, and so on. So McCabe will have the information, and I'm also sure that the potential buyer will have this information. And finally, just to finish off, I'd like to give a special thanks to all the viewers. There were a significant amount of comments in the previous video that I wanted to respond to, but obviously I've withdrawn that video. So, and I also want to wish good luck to everyone. We're still not there. We've still not got confirmation, but the signs are good. Obviously, we have indication here from the new submission of a potential squeeze. So everybody, again, in terms of reminder, have your plan, have a plan, execute your plan, and victory to the retail. Good luck, everybody.